episode 115 of the Deadass Though podcast. In the building, y'all already know. Kel's in the building, Jay in the building.
Boom, boom,
Nice
boom.
is in the building. Cause you nice.
Zah.
Y'all are funny.
What's good, y'all?
It's a long time coming. We was waiting on the gang to get back together, but we back and we better. Hey.
Yeah.
Damn, just left
She
that high and
doesn't have
dry.
Any words?
I don't have any words. I'm still thinking about eating another cookie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Y'all, she's
on
been
a
in my house
all I
like
keep
sugar
thinking
rush.
about.
She's been in my house for 5 minutes
And already
She's
killed
eating
5 cookies.
I think I ate 3, actually. You know?
Yeah.
Good ratio.
Yeah, you're right. Cause I
Every
had
minute
chocolate.
and a half, I ate cookies.
I did have chocolate chip cookies, and then now it's just sugar cookies left.
Nah, there's one. There's one. Unless Jay, did you eat the other chocolate
Nah, I
chip?
ain't,
Why
that was
did you
the
say
4th one that
chocolate
went
chip?
under the radar.
Chocolate chip. Chocolate chip cookie.
You never know your people's fucking tendencies until they come out. Chocolate chip?
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't eat 2 chocolate chips. I promise.
Damn.
There was 2 of them in there.
You said it was 3. See, now you.
I didn't say 3.
Oh man, so y'all, it's good to
You
hear
ate
from
the
y'all
chocolate
again.
cookie. He lied. He ate the chocolate cookie.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, shit's
Never
good
snitch
though,
on
you
yourself,
know?
nigga.
I've been vibing, living life the
Yeah,
only
man.
way that I can.
That's it.
She been doing more than me. I ain't been living life.
Oh,
Life
you
been living me.
There we go.
Exactly.
Hello. That's what it's about, bro. Living through a pandemic, finding the best ways to just stay creative and just be ourselves. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, I've had some interesting times
Shit is
during
rough.
this quarantine. Remember last time we were here, I spoke with y'all about how I was like DMing somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I went on a date and it was horrible.
As it always goes.
it
Fucking
wasn't-
dates are terrible. FaceTime, it saves you so much.
It was horrible. It really was. But what I will tell you is that, like I always say, I attract nothing but single baby daddies. And that's what it is.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
You like fathers.
How's it still happening during the pandemic, though? That's the
I
funny
don't
shit
know.
to me.
It's like only niggas with kids fuck with me.
Oh, well, it's who you allow, who you fuck with.
You got to uncheck that on your Tinder. You know that? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not on Tinder, pussy.
What?
I don't do
I
Tinder.
could have swore I matched with you.
Nah.
Damn,
I haven't had
catfish.
Tinder. Tinder. I haven't had Tinder, so Tinder's not a thing for me.
She got Christian mingle.
I am, I feel like
That's how you know you ain't gonna find no father.
Christian mingle?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if
What do
they.
you mean? There's single Christian men.
oh, really?
Well,
That
no,
have
single
kids.
Christian men, yeah,
That
but
have
not fathers.
kids.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, they might have kids if they're not a father and they have kids. That's shitty.
Do you wear like the
They need
Pentecostal
to get off
dress?
Christian mingle because
Yo.
something's going on. Anyways, yes, I don't know what it is where it's like single fathers are welcome on my fucking forehead, but it's there
I
somewhere.
told you got to uncheck
It's like
that
a
shit on your
fucking
profile, bro.
stepmommy radar. That's what the fuck they search and find me under.
Now, real quick, before we... Well, tell them where you... Because you go into detail with this, right?
What?
This whole situation.
No, I won't.
No,
If
I'm
you
not
want to
saying
hear
now.
the rest, for my podcast, yes.
Sure.
On the latest episode, Allie me, thank you. On my latest episode of Sorry If I Offend You, the podcast, I talk about the horrible experience I have with this quote unquote blind date experience.
Interesting. So what I was going to ask is, do you know beforehand that they fathers, or you literally find this shit out when...
No, okay, so I'll just give you a little bit of insight on him. I found out during the date that he was a dad, and I had never seen not one picture of a kid. No kid was ever mentioned. I don't have no issue with it. It is what it is. If you got kids, you got kids. It's a blessing, I guess. But it's just not... I never find men that don't have kids. Every man that has been interested in me always ends up having 1 kid or 2. And
You know
he
what?
got kids.
I blame this on you for dating during the pandemic, so...
Yes, I know.
what you
I
deserve.
shouldn't. Honestly. We spoke about this when you featured on my podcast. But I feel like, okay, it's not the end of the pandemic because shit is still whatever. But it's kind of like we're in the midst of it.
Well, we definitely in the midst of it, but I don't see that shit.
And I am bored. So I'm just trying to,
Interesting.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to just be true. I waited. I held out for a long time.
Listen, you nasty.
I did. I didn't do anything
fucking
though.
with your-
But, it was a fail. But
Well, listen, shout out to everybody going through their own shit during this pandemic. You know what I mean? So what we going to do, we're going to have a special episode where we're going to have y'all call in and talk about your horror stories during the pandemic when it comes to dating. And then we're going to make fun of you. And then we're going to discuss it. And then we're going to go from there, you know?
You
like
feel
that.
me? I think God just telling me it's not the time, baby.
That's it.
Not the
That's
time.
it. There's a reason why God put this shit here and it's not.
There's a reason
meet
why
new
God
people.
keeps sending me single fathers. And it's not to date.
They're like, you got your dog already. Just relax. You got your baby. And then we're going to go from there.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, going forward, what do we want to start off with? I forget.
You know what I want to start off with.
Go ahead, lead the
Launch it
floor.
off.
All right. Speaking of dating gone wrong,
Here we go.
this is my favorite part of the show where I get to talk shit about all the gossip. Well, supposedly, Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez is in a love quarrel. How they got together, one may never know because she's at least a foot taller than him.
Allegedly.
I don't know. Allegedly, I guess.
Well-
Allegedly, he's like 5'2". She's like 5'9".
I was about to say, she is taller than him.
Yeah, she's
allegedly
definitely
for
tall.
For the dating.
No, but
Yo, I'm telling you, seeing her in person, bro.
Bro.
I'm
She's
6'2".
big.
I'm 6'2". When I saw her at Beat Music Fest, bro, she was like eye length with me.
right, I know. I seen her too. She's
Dog.
big. She's big.
She's a
But
stallion, nigga.
she's a real stallion.
Jay, you jump
But-
up on her back. Like,
Right. That's the type of women Jay like.
Hey.
Jay likes to be the little spoon.
Wow, relax, nigga.
He like her to pick him up like a baby. On the
Wow,
hip.
she coming for me, yeah?
he said, yo,
Piggyback rides off the shoulder.
he said, don't tell them the secrets now.
Right. All right.
Word.
Anyways, so supposedly they was in a little love quarrel. Somehow, maybe Kylie Jenner is somewhere mixed into it. Don't know how, don't know when, don't know the details. I just know that somebody got shot. And it was motherfucking Meg Thee Stallion. And y'all know I fuck with my bitch heavy as hell. So yeah, I got beef with Tory Lanez.
Yo, so
Heavy.
was it y'all that did we post it in the chat like as soon as it happened? Was it our chat that I sent that shit to?
Yeah.
I said something. I said, damn, so Meg got shot. And then you sent it.
That it was actually Tory, right?
Yeah, that it was Tory. I found out that you.
Well, I was at the gym, right? So I swear, every time something like this happens, I'm somewhere doing something, and I'm just like, oh shit. So in the middle of my sets, I look down, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, there's no way. Because, you know, TMZ be fucking, that's TMZ right there. But a lot of times they right. So I was like,
Yeah.
let me send this to everybody, make sure that they seeing the same shit I am. Yep. And it's so funny how shit can, you know, go to a complete 180. Literally the night before, they was on IG going crazy, living their life. And then the video comes out, Tory on the floor. You see Meg, you know, sidestepping. You see the little blots of blood on the floor. I'm like, yo, this shit is like for real. And like Tory's silence spoke fucking miles, bro.
Oh
It
yeah,
spoke
not
so
saying
loud.
anything. Just it told whatever it needed to.
Cause her bodyguard went up too and fake threw shots before all this shit came out, and it's like, yo, like, you know, just being by her side and all that. He wasn't there, so just best believe I'm gonna be there, and you know, the people I roll with don't shoot at feet and shit like that. I'm like, yo, he probably really did this shit. And then fast forward, whatever it is, like a week
This
later,
nigga shot at feet? Or
he
'cause
shot her foot.
Or because he was that
Apparently.
tall?
That's
right,
what-
yeah.
He just has bad aim, or he's short. Which one y'all think?
Both.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I think it's both. I don't think he is shooter. I think what type of dude argues with a female and thinks, even if the female's swinging on him, we don't know what was happening inside the car, but what type of dude, man, does that? Like,
Why-
you're in
why
an
do you even
argument,
think
so
about
you're gonna
getting
pull
to
out
that
your gun and fucking shoot a female in the foot? Like, what kind of shit is that? Even if he was just, like, maybe he accidentally shot her in the foot, he would just pull out his piece to, like, talk shit. That's some clown shit. But that is some, honestly, are we shocked? Are we
To tell
shocked?
you the truth, yeah. I was shocked 1,000%.
To be honest, I'll tell you, I did not give a fuck.
I'm saying not that
like
it
that.
was Meg getting shot by Tory Lanez, but that Tory Lanez would shoot somebody in the foot.
Like, if Meg shot Tory Lanez, I mean, I don't even want to be a dick. I'd laugh.
Right.
I'd be like, wow.
The thing is it's a man shooting a woman while y'all are in an argument or whatever situation y'all are in. Why you have a gun out?
Yeah.
Why do you have a gun out?
don't know.
That's
I think
the point.
that's-
That's the point that
that's
like
like,
really gets me is
men's
where was the gun put?
perspective,
Like
yeah.
where the gun was put in play? Like for what reason?
It's just niggas just trying to be tough. I guess like when
To
you
a female?
they do it all the
that you're
time.
fucking?
Every single time. Like I've seen niggas
That's
be
corny.
overly aggressive with females and try to show their dominance with objects, and I'm like,
Cornballs.
nigga, really? It's not even that serious. Nothing is ever that serious.
But
And both
know,
of you
like,
guys are prominent artists. Like, what the fuck?
yeah. That's the shit that blew mine, right? Because it's like you shouldn't even be in this situation right now because both of y'all established. Both of y'all still bodying it through a pandemic. Y'all were just partying right before, like in fucking Cali. Keep in mind, both of them are far removed from being from the, you know what I mean? Tory's from Canada. She from, what,
Actually,
Texas? Right?
Texas.
I'm
Yeah.
not even, don't even give him Canada. He a Florida boy.
So there we go.
There
Boom.
we go.
Even better. So y'all living life out there, and then all this shit goes on. She gets shot in the foot, and then, you know, Tory's been rolling this whole motherfucking 2020. Quarantine radio. He just went independent. He has a whole bunch of people that he's putting money in their pockets because he's doing good. Same shit with Meg. I mean, Meg's gonna be fine, of course, because she was the victim in this, supposedly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like people saying that maybe she was doing a little too much to her, but to him, but because he's little. But does that warrant shooting her? No, it doesn't. So it's not until Tory comes out and says his side that we get more of an understanding of why he would do it. You know what I mean? If he did do it, keep in mind, the whole story isn't out yet. This is what people were saying. Mm-hmm. But like you said, that's cornball shit. And also just the response on social media. When it first started, I saw a lot of people like, yo, like, you know, of course, Meg got shot. But as the news came out that it might have been Tory, the jokes just started flying. You know, people got to get the jokes off. And then that's when Meg got on Twitter like, yo, like, you know, a strong black woman was shot, and I seen the way like people replied to it. Your homegirl.
I think Drea was the reason why she reacted on Twitter the way she did. A lot of times, like, you see celebrities don't really react so quickly when it's the regular people because you know them jokes are gonna come. You know, everybody has something to say, but when it's famous people that are in their lifestyle or people that have common friends or associates. Mm-hmm. That's when you're like, all right, bitch, you trying to be funny? Because to be real, it is all fun and games until it's really you. Like, nobody wants to be shot by somebody they fuck with no matter what. Because you should never have that fear that somebody you fuck with would even put a gun out on you. Like, that's weird. It's just all weird energy. It's bad vibes. Super crazy. But for everyone to make a joke, I could see her like, damn, all right, haha, it is funny, but right now she's probably not ready to laugh.
It's not time.
Because she's probably pissed off, like, yo, my shit's fucked up. That could take away from studio time, shit, any type of performances. Even though, you know, concerts aren't happening, there's still a lot of different events that celebrities could go to, especially music artists. So that's crazy. And when she came, the first thing Meg said was, it was an attack on my life. Yeah, don't let the media shit fool you, basically. Like, niggas was coming for me. So that right there should tell you it's more something that I don't know, like a female shouldn't have said shit about. I think men play around, cool, maybe a radio host here and there, but if you're in an interview, you kind of got to like eat your words. Mm-hmm. Twitter is fun, but when you talking and you speaking on a situation you know nothing about, especially comparing it to Ike and Tina, that's the worst type of love. Like, even people think, and I don't mean Drea, now we're transitioning. I think that people nowadays think that toxic shit is so normal. Stop normalizing toxicity in a relationship. Toxicity. Yeah. My bad. But like, people think it's so regular to put your hands on each other, to cheat and cheat back and, you know, yell at each other, belittle one another. Mm-hmm. Like, nah, that's what y'all think relationships are now because it's so common. But I don't want that shit. Yeah. That's why you see the other spectrum of single people that are like, I don't want a relationship because that's what it looks like it is. Mm-hmm.
That's a big major conversation to have too, because Jay and everybody else who's listening, I don't know if you had a similar like situation, but there was plenty of women in my life that they would get too familiar with their hands and touching of the face and shit. I'm like, yo, we not playing that game. Like, I'm nipping that shit in the bud right now. Like, we cool and all that, whether it's like you fucking around or whatever the case is. It's like, nah, Islam, like, we on a different type of time.
Like play fighting?
That shit is
no, there's
not
boundaries.
Even play fighting.
It's just boundaries.
I'm asking, like, play fighting is okay? That's like what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, if the energy's reciprocated and that's what's happening, but
you could tell when people are stepping over the line. Islam, it's like all the time, especially like in public. I'm like, yo, bro, like, we not playing that game. Exactly. Like, there's gonna be a mutual respect here, and if not, then it's gonna be a dub.
I've always grown up on like, I'm tough. You tough, right? I'm tough. You know, I grew up with my brothers, but I also knew, don't put your hands on somebody unless you prepared to get hands put on you. Even when it's male or female, like a man is supposed to eat it, but there's only so much you can take before you swing back.
Right.
It's almost you could take before, something else happens. People react out of anger. I've had people close to me get shot by their significant other because of that. So it's like,
foot?
no, not in the foot, in some real shit, like in the chest. So crazy shit happens, and it's because the relationship is toxic and the abuse is normalized, and all it takes is I'm sorry, let's get drunk again, and then fucking fight again. Like that shit's crazy. That it's a vicious circle, and like the internet, social media makes it seem like it's okay because all these funny memes are out, so you can laugh it off. But shit, if you're not laughing, you're crying, and that's the perfect definition of it. If you don't laugh about that shit, you're gonna cry about it, and you're gonna be depressed, whatever. So people try to find the humor in those type of situations when they need to find the real truth to it.
What was that?
No, I was just agreeing. Like social media is just a bunch of bitches.
Bunch of bitches.
Yeah, bro. Like everybody just sits there and just, like she says, normalizes everything, makes memes. Like, oh, you're cool. You can sit behind a computer and make a meme when somebody out there is actually fighting for their life. That's why, certain individuals take
people were like, all right.
Yeah, so that's why I take the time to not be on it, because as soon as I took the time to get off and I would, let's say 2 weeks in, just go and look, like nothing's changed. It's always going to be the same shit. It's all fucking corny. It's so corny.
You just gotta learn to not take it serious, but like personal, that people aren't taking it serious. Yeah. I don't take it personal. I just would suggest.
So like when people make fun of like people getting shot and stuff, like I could sit here and make a joke, but I too have at least 4 guns held to me when we were just going for bud over something so simple, and it was my friend aiming a gun at me. So I was like, wow. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I can make little jokes and shit because I actually been through it. I've seen cold steel pointed at me, and I'm just like, really? So, you know what I'm saying?
Tell the people, they may not know you. You just been off social media, right?
Yeah, just it's like it's a topic that we're gonna touch on. Like mental health is a real thing, and what you surround yourself with and what you view is a piece of you. 1,000. So if you see a lot of normalized bullshit, you are part of the product. So that's why I decided to take myself away from it, try to, rebuild myself like little piece by piece. And every time if like I'm picking up this to look at some shit that somebody thinks is funny, and there's like maybe 500,000 people who are liking it too because it's content form, I don't want to be I don't want herd mentality to follow that. Yeah. So I've strayed away from news of people getting shot. Like literally I live vicariously now through what you guys send me. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I'll eventually get back into it and then succumb to the toxic environment of social media itself. So, but as of right now, I'm just kind of like, I don't have the need to see what this person's posting or what's in the know.
I think we all need to unplug every now and again, because you think about it, all this shit, good. Like us just sitting here, us three, right, have so much shit going on in our personal lives and everybody listening in. Like we're always on our phones too, so being on the phone and fucking taking that shit in all the fucking time,
exactly,
on top of what we're dealing with in our regular life, that shit is not healthy.
It's not. It literally becomes a piece of you, and people start their directions and what they want to do starts getting so misconstrued. So like people start thinking they can do things that are not in their entitlement or in their background. For instance, Kanye West trying to be a presidential candidate, which, I mean, I understand if you live through TV and watch all the political views and all the, arguments and standpoints on where things are going and delegations and all that. And some people feel entitled to be like, yeah, I'm going to run for president. But you don't do the things necessary to put yourself in the position of politics. Yeah, it's like, you know how they say everyone's politic and everyone's on a course side just saying, oh, this is how we should do it, but never put themselves in a position to learn the steps and tools necessary to put themselves in a position to be like, yeah, I can run because I'm knowledgeable and I've read and I put myself in positions to see things and actually be able to delegate in front of real congressmen and congresswoman. I don't know if that all sits in the same connotation, but that's why when I heard that, I was just like, yo, I didn't believe it, because you know how social media takes it to the next level. They're like, oh, Kanye West for, a candidate for presidential election. I'm like, bro, he did that last time, and you all y'all bid it and just
Hate
wanted
that
to
shit.
run with it. I'm like, bro, I'm not with the herd mentality. It's not even gonna happen. And then now look where everything is.
I think that Kanye felt like he was able to run because of the state of how social media controls a lot and how it can also mind fuck you and think something is what it isn't. Like Donald Trump being our president. I think he felt like Kanye would say, like a popularity contest in money.
That's
Just because that was achievable for a man like that that's so involved with talking shit and being a part of that, like, you know, Instagram culture. I don't know, that's what I call it. This generation is an Instagram culture. So like I feel like Kanye felt like, okay, well, if Donald Trump could be president, well, so can I, because he's basically the same person I am. They've had the same amount of scrutiny, same amount of love, because, you know, we may not be the people that love Donald Trump, but God, there's somebody who does. You feel me? He didn't get to where he was without having a lot of supporters, especially the big name supporters, the people that really hold weight, you know, legislative leaders, like, but he has some other shit. Like, he really is. I think that it has to do with something bigger going on in his life, and the stress is making him react and want attention. I think that people maybe have said, like, okay, maybe you could be a better leader for us because now you have, you know, his profitable gospel career. Like,
that's one thing.
You know, I just feel like he thinks that the people thinks that that's the move for him when it's not. Like, I think the world right now, as we know it, is lost, especially politically. We don't have a leader who the fuck are we going to turn to? We don't have a leader to turn to. We don't have even like any type of presidential campaigners that their team has anyone that we would want in place. There's absolutely no one that I can say we could be like, okay, they're overall a good person.
Yeah.
Biden was on the Obama campaign, and we see who Biden is.
Yeah, it's rough knowing that
Like,
those are the two choices we got to deal with.
Yeah, like, honestly, because those are going to
demon.
be, that's going to be one of the two that actually, they're liberal leaders that are running shit like that, but they're getting washed away because, you know, Republican and Democratic Party overtake everything. Yeah, so it's kind of like people won't even educate. People don't even know that there's other people running for presidency. Let me just leave that there. People don't know that Biden was on the Obama campaign. Some people do, and I feel like that's why he got the good love, but they also don't see, like, he's been trying to get his little nose in, or he's been into all this political shit. And he knows that it's easy for him to be a leader because his name is known. People don't know what type of person you are. They just know if they hear your name a lot.
And then he went on Charlemagne thing and he said, "You're not black if you don't vote for Biden." I was like, yo, this guy.
Like, too comfortable. You're too comfortable.
Though, OD. But yeah, with Kanye, that motherfucker, bro. So his new album supposed to come out tonight, but when all this shit was going on, he just announces out of nowhere he's, you know, running for president. Like you said, he's done this before. It's all right, cool. But then, you know, he had his first campaign rally, and then he pulls up to the rally, starts, you know, saying certain things, berated a black woman that was in the fucking audience. He cries out there talking about, you know, abortion, things of that nature, which is fine. You know, he has his views, and of course he's going through his own mental things. But I think one of his issues is that he, just because of where he's at as Kanye, he thinks he could just like cheat the system, like automatically, yo, I'm running for president. If you don't, you know what I mean, you can't vote for Biden. You see the type of person he is, vote for Kanye. Does Biden have Grammys and all that? I'm like, bro, this isn't what it's about.
That's exactly what I was saying. It's two different ball games. You're an artist. He's a politician.
Yeah.
He can't come in here and drop an album and be a Grammy winner. You can't come in here in a campaign and give like a phenomenal speech and know everything and back everything up. I mean, I'm not saying he can't.
I was about to say, but look at the place we're in now. Who knows? He probably.
But like you said, it is the Instagram culture, and everyone's looking for a socialite to be their leader. And that's what's gonna be.
They're just looking for who they know.
Yeah. But when you really think about it, it's somebody who can control social medias.
Correct.
Do you see Biden putting out mad tweets and posting on Instagram and shit like that? Maybe
Trump does that, so we can't.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, Trump already knew he's in the know of shit, and they're so like real old school with everything, and then you got Kanye West. Who else is gonna step out of the unknown? Who's a socialite and everybody knows? Is gonna be like, fuck both of them. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Which is a beautiful thing. And you brought up a good point about like Trump being in the position he is. Being a public figure. That puts the battery in Kanye's back to do it, and that's dope. And it's also scary because it's like, you can be whoever the fuck you want to be if you put your mind to it and do it, right? But then also, like we're seeing now, it's like he's putting he has his foot on the pedal, on the gas pedal, but he has so much shit going on in the background, and he's saying the wrong things at the wrong time. He's going through a lot of shit at this time, and he's trying to do this whole presidential thing, apparently. He had it in South Carolina. Apparently, he was like, yeah, everybody make sure like you petition for me to be on the ballot. And apparently he didn't even submit it, so he's not going to be on the ballot. So there's a whole bunch of shit like in the background where, like I say, he's trying to cheat the system. And all the timing is weird with his album coming out. And then he started going on these tweets, which you say you haven't seen because you've been off IG. Just
in general, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, just talking about Kim, all the stuff that they're going through behind closed doors. They're in the process of possibly getting a divorce.
It's crazy.
Just berating, what's in it, Kris Jenner. Mm-hmm. Just going through a whole bunch of stuff, and we're seeing it publicly. And that's where the mental health component goes into it. Because we literally see him melt down once again from the safety of our own homes on our phones. And that shit is scary, dog.
Would we want a president that can't control their own emotions? No, because that's how wars start. That's how shit like this happens.
Yeah.
When people react off of their own emotions versus what's better for the people as a whole. There's a lot of different things that could have been done to avoid the USA from being affected by this pandemic so harshly if our president didn't react off of his emotions. So do we want to bring somebody else who is going to react off their emotions just as easily? Right. No, we need to fix the issue. So we can't put somebody else with the same issues back in that place. But what I will say, and I touch on this actually on my podcast as well, some truth to what Kanye's spiel was. So he did mention that Harriet Tubman did not free the slaves. She just brought them over to work for white men.
Right.
Okay. Let's go I'm going to sub in, he meant work for white men for a profit. So what was disrespectful about that was that she did free a lot of black slaves. She risked her life to free them. So it's kind of like the little bit of history that we really, really know and love of black culture that we actually get to hear and cherish. You're diminishing it because you didn't choose your words wisely. There's truth to that. She did free them and brought them over to get paid to work under someone. She didn't free them completely, but at the same time, she also didn't have the ability to bring them over and, completely house food, feed, set them right. She didn't have the ability for herself to do that. So yes, they did still have to work, but at least they had some type of money in their pocket. They could somewhat get food for their families and build themselves up. She gave them an opportunity to grow. She brought them to the lake and taught them how to fish. Like, she did what she did so they could, build and grow and become better as a whole. And yes, it wasn't perfect and nothing was gifted, but no one had the opportunity to have that. But at least they weren't in chains. At least they weren't working for free. At least they weren't getting beat.
Yeah.
Like she didn't bring them to a perfect life. She brought them to a better one. So he could have elaborated what he meant a little more, but instead all he said was she didn't free the slaves. She just brought them to work, and it was insulting. But his point more so was that no matter how free you say someone is, a job puts a chain on them. Mm-hmm. You're not your own boss. You're a worker, and you are essentially a slave to the money.
That's the version 2 of his slavery comment from earlier.
So
he's always
it
been
makes sense once you think about it. If you really gave it a chance versus wanting to criticize off the back. Like when I first heard it, I was like, oh hell no. Then I thought about it again, and I'm like, there is it is truth to that.
I'm not even giving him
you
the
know,
benefit of the doubt because he should. Context.
He should already have.
Context
He
is
shouldn't
everything.
have said it the way that he did. The context is everything. And when you say something that out of pocket, you have to explain yourself because you can't just let people run with how they want to believe it.
That
you can't
awkward
just
pause
let,
after
like,
the fact, bro. Yo, somebody said, "Come on, man!" In the background,
bro,
it was just like
somebody said, "Oh, we leaving," right? Like it's like.
Ooh.
You had a good point, and
tragic.
you could have elaborated and made yourself sound so smart, but instead you didn't, and you chose to be an idiot, and you chose to let other people be naive in your thought process. Because a lot of people
That
didn't
shit
think like
is
that. A lot of
crazy,
people were like, "Oh my God, once the slaves were free, they were free." No, they weren't.
Yeah.
They worked their asses off to build their generation of or family generation, I would say.
I think
keep
that's
it alive,
why,
like
it's people. You have to have a filter, bro. You have to be able to articulate your words because even though you may have good intentions behind them, when you say them a certain way, that's gonna put people off. You're gonna hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanye, like, I understand the mental issues. We all talk about mental health, right? But you should know, as a grown ass adult, by this time, he's been through the fire so many times. Why don't you just learn from your motherfucking mistakes? Why? I don't understand, especially when you're trying to do something like lead a nation, right? Like you said, why would I want somebody who says certain things like that, even though there may be some truth to what he's saying, or there is truth to what he's saying, just the way he goes about it. Just imagine him talking to these different diplomats out there, whatever the case is, and then something happens and he pushes the yay button,
No, for sure. And people are people are really stupid. Like, real deal dumb. And also, people are ignorant. There's a difference between being dumb and being ignorant. Ignorant is not wanting to teach yourself. Dumb is just not knowing. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people who are ignorant and a lot of people who are dumb, who if you don't tell them something, they'll never know. And there's also people who know and ignore. So who are you going to feed? Are you going to enlighten everybody so the dumb people can get smart? Or are you just gonna leave everybody where it's at so the ignorant people can fake like they're not aware,
But I mean,
and the dumb people can still be in the shadows?
But then you also lead them into a herd mentality, and that's what sucks because you also have to educate yourself rather than have somebody else educate you in a sense. Because let's just say he's a prominent leader and he's like, yeah, let's all jump off this bridge, and then he's like, oh, so he knows what he's doing. He's the one teaching us, so let's all jump off the bridge too. So it sucks. Like I do agree. Like, you have to have somebody who can instill a teaching for you, but you have to take the initiative yourself to do further research beyond what they can teach you, or get multiple sources so that way you can know where you stand. You don't have to be like PC or politically correct, but you don't have a herd mentality to just follow everyone into a fire, because essentially. Like you said, anybody can sit up there and speak really smart, but they haven't went to multiple sources to understand and really dissect the information they have. So I could sit here and say, oh, I'm this and that, and everyone's like, wow, yo, the way he words his shit, he might know some shit. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you follow me. I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I just led y'all all to this fire with me, so we all gonna burn. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my point was that if he's gonna lead you to a fire, he needs to explain why.
Why he's leading you.
So with explanation comes knowledge. So you have a teacher that's instilling the knowledge in your head, not just telling you something. There's a difference between teaching and telling. Mm-hmm. What you're explaining is telling.
That was the perfect example of the exact opposite, because people killed him for that comment, right? Herd mentality, like, yo, he said that, like, yo, fuck him, cancel him, whatever the case is.
But he had a good point.
But then, like you said, if you do your own research and you go behind to understand, like, why would he say that? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the whole point is, you shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't have to do that. He should have explained himself.
You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Exactly. And that's where it goes. It always gets misconstrued.
Correct. Especially with things of that nature where you're trying to spread love. And, like, him, and we could talk about this for hours and shit.
Exactly.
Like, him really instilling the fact that, like, his faith is so strong in God and all this stuff. You have to be able to articulate your words, bro, and that's something he's not well versed in, you know. And it's unfortunate, and I'm sure he's gonna learn. You know, we all go through our own trials and tribulations. It is what it is. You learn, but I'm interested to see the progress he could make if, number one, the people that are around him, which we're not sure. I'm sure there's people around him that know him very well that are trying to help him. Maybe he's just not ready for it. You know, ever since he made those comments, I don't know if you saw, like you said, you've been off, but like Dave Chappelle flew to go see him literally the day after he had his first outburst. Dame Dash was out there, and I'm sure Aunt Clemens, a whole bunch of people behind the scenes probably went to see him to make sure he's good, right? So it's like when you have that type of, you know, foundation, you're building that back up, and you see that there are people that love you and care about your well-being outside of what you can do for them monetarily or whatever the case is, what that can do for him. And also if he's like, okay, I do see that I do need help. Can you guys help me? Like what he can do after that. Because in that video that I made earlier, like I said, he's done so much when he's sick. You know what I mean? Yeezy's $1 billion company. You know, he's really going hard on this Donda Yeezy shit, trying to create, you know, housing, shit like that. Just imagine what the man could do when he's in a clear mind. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. That's the Kanye. You know when people say they miss the old Kanye? I'm really, fuck the old Kanye. Let's push this forward.
Yeah. But I just hope he's not using mental health as a crutch.
Great point.
So that way people keep coming to you and pull you out. I know people who deal with real fucking mental health, and it's hard for people on the outside, and they don't want that people to fall back on a crutch. So that's why I'm saying when he's in a position where you have that following, that basis. If you say you're having a mental breakdown and you put yourself in a mental in the mentality to have that, and you know you're gonna have Dave Chappelle and all these people just float in and be like, "Yo, you good?" And you're like, "Yes, you know, I got that buildup of energy. They're all here, so then I can go out and do that again." Oh, I'm failing mental health.
Right
now they come back. You know what I'm saying?
That's the perfect. Yeah.
And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, you know, ignorant to it because certain people function like that, or some people are dysfunctional and that's what works for them. But for certain individuals who actually deal with shit that just puts you off and just you have different kind of outbursts, I think sometimes he uses it as a crutch. People just put that there. They're like, oh, Kanye West is at a high. Oh, he's low. Oh, mental health. Yeah. Back up. He drops down. Mental health.
So you know what I'm saying? Do you see mental health characteristics in him since you are knowledgeable of it, or do you think that it's something that he can just fix?
I mean, all right. You know what I mean?
So the thing, mental health is you can't really. I don't have any experience in it for me to speak about it. I just know, you know, obviously what I've read up on, what I've been taught in school, things like that. But I know that it's hard to you when your mind is fucked up. It's like it's the hardest thing. You know, that's the worst disease is the one in your brain. Exactly. That's the worst one to have because it kills you from the inside, not from the outside. So, and other people can't feel, see, or know your pain except you. So we don't really know what anybody with mental health issues is really going through unless they tell us. And sometimes they can't articulate that. Sometimes it's outbursts and weird behaviors. And that's the easiest tell that someone does have mental health illness. So with you watching Kanye throughout all this time, do you see that? Or do you think, no, you see it mildly, that's why you feel the way you do?
So where I usually stand, I always try to see the best of both things. So I'm not always just going to be like, nah, that's not mental health. That's just crying for attention. You know what I'm saying? And that's how certain people are going to view it. But from what I've seen is just a complete incline of Kanye West. You know, doing everything he needs to put himself in necessary positions, and then he just partnered with Gap, and then now he's just doing everything, and he got this like hubris mentality. Boom! Now he's running again. All of a sudden, like so much is flooding in. He does a few things wrong, and people catch on and are like, "Yo, Slime, like what the fuck are you doing?" Mental health. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, now he's just gonna say everything he's been feeling. I understand if you have pent up like repressed thoughts and emotions with everything going on, but all of a sudden, as soon as you get checked on something, like, all right, you're saying, all right, yeah, my wife is doing this and that, you know what, I'm the best candidate, you know, all this just random mix of stuff, and like, for me, that's a little, like, confusing, and I think a lot of the populace love to cradle him when it comes to certain things, instead of, like, seriously checking him in a sense where someone who relates to it, like, I've talked to people who deal with, like, real mental illness, like nothing that's really put out there, and certain people who do put the content out there to be aware of this shit know the detriments of mental illness itself, right? To be bipolar, schizophrenic, or to have manic episodes. Like I have manic episodes. Like that shit sucks. Like I could be doing something, all of a sudden I'm like, I feel like I'm having a panic attack. I gotta step away, start like crying for no fucking reason.
Right.
And then 3 minutes later, I feel like I'm normal and go back and function normally. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real. And I started to realize, I had these episodes, wake up, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm alive. And you know what I'm saying? It's weird shit like that. But when we watch somebody who goes up and just doing all these things, and as soon as it's something bad or you get kind of checked or you feel a type of way, all of a sudden you have this outburst of this and that and this, and then just like, oh yeah, he's mental.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree with how people go with that stuff like that.
Have you watched it?
Have I watched his stuff?
Yeah. Did you watch the campaign spiel?
No, I didn't, because I knew
watch it, because that's exactly what happened.
that everything I'm saying is exactly like that.
Is exactly what happened. So your answer should be yes. He does have mental issues. Yes, you do see it. I think you gotta watch it.
All right, so I'll watch it, because I guess I'm just sitting from a standpoint of like what I experienced.
Sad, bro,
Yeah, it's sad to watch. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
so I'll watch
he
it
has
then.
to fix something internally.
Okay.
I don't have I'm not a doctor in it, not a psychiatrist.
Same.
None of that. I don't know. But without any experience, I'm watching him. And from watching him since I was a kid, I've always loved Kanye.
Yeah.
Even through all this crazy shit, I've always loved him. I have disagreed with him. I think that a lot of times he needs like a publicist to give him a script. Because what he said was off the wall, even though some of it had good points. Certain things you just don't say when you're in such a public eye. But we don't know. We don't know what's really happening with him as a person. But watching him from when I was younger to watching him now, he's been 30 different people.
Well, we
so
watched the decline.
Like, you can't be that unless something is going on up top.
But I mean, we knew he wasn't always 100% there after his mother passed, and we've watched.
Oh, for sure. That was the
Kanye
decline
West.
of everything. I think his mom with his mom passing, that guilt ate at him because, as we know, she passed during surgery. I think that guilt ate at him and fucked his mind up.
Exactly.
I don't know if you guys watched 13 Reasons Why.
No.
But because of one of the main characters in it started having mental issues from all the secrets that he was holding, and he's a kid, but he literally was like going schizophrenic because of it. And then once he realized and got his truths out, his life started going back towards like normalcy. So maybe Kanye needs to get all these random secrets out to change. Because without this, he's never going to be anything more. And like you were saying, Kelly, he got to get past all this to keep growing and to be the next person. So a lot of times, like, myself, I had to come with I've been trying to be a better person. I've been a little more religious than normal. I've been praying a little more. I talk to myself a little more, like I've just been trying to find better ways to appreciate life. And I see that I had to come to truth with myself that I had an issue for it was my fault with sometimes when I was unhappy about situations because I had a bad attitude towards it. Sometimes I could have ate my words and moved on, or maybe asked somebody else if they needed help rather than assuming they're attacking me type of thing. So,
Absolutely.
you don't, and I had to be honest with myself, and I had to come out and be like, okay, I'm doing this nasty shit. And then, whatever, this is what I'm really mad about. Let me get it out. Because if you don't get it out, it's just going to suppress and it's going to eat at you.
Yeah, I understand that. But I also understand the group of individuals who don't want to speak out, because I remember one time.
It's hard. It's hard to speak out.
This is legit an experience I had when I first discovered like shit was not hitting right. Something wasn't right. And the only message I got was a text message after I've sent with like all this stuff that was going on. I got a text message with a number to a suicide hotline. Nothing else. That was it. And I was like, interesting. So
you want to go into this? Okay, so then we should just clip the combo,
but that's exactly how people move sometimes. But I understand why some people are secluded or in their own shell. But hey, we're always gonna be out there. Us as a platform will be out there for you guys. Yeah. Just wanted to put that out there. So
I think in situations like that with Kanye, I don't think the public should have known his secrets, but I think he needed to get them out to maybe like a therapist or have like a friend just to speak to. Yeah. I think when your mind is in that place, the best way to go is therapy. I don't think there's anything wrong with therapy. I think if you go to therapy, you want to get your life on track, and that's a great option for yourself. And even if it's not like full on, you know, it is to some people it is embarrassing. It shouldn't be, but it's embarrassing when you seek therapy or you seek help. But even if that, like, he had Dave Chappelle and all of them come, like, even with them, having someone to speak with and somebody there for you is so important. So I definitely hats off to all of his friends that are there for him, even if, you know, Jay, you do think it's a cry for help or whatever, a victimizing situation. But
who knows? To me,
never
I think
know.
that is his therapy. When he, like you said, when he purges his thoughts out, even though it's a detriment to like the people around him, that's his way of getting through it. And all like the positive shit I say about him is if he really is, you know, suffering from that shit. Because
for sure, yeah, we have our minds. Like if this is what he's suffering from, this is what we mean. But you don't want to be insensitive, just in case it is true. Like
exactly.
But we do know people do shit like that all the time.
Yeah.
When they know that they can get around by doing something, they're gonna take that shit all the time. But
that's why I was like, I hate when people just say that and they're like without, you know what I'm saying?
But that's why people listen to this podcast, because we talk about all different angles.
Exactly.
Yes.
But shit, I was gonna go somewhere with that. Kanye, you motherfucker! How dare you? How dare you disrespect? Oh yeah, like it's flagrant, bro. When you look at the footage, like he's literally in the middle.
Damn,
Keep in mind,
this is supposed
to be his presidential campaign rally, and he starts to go into, you know, abortion, things of that nature. He just starts. He completely breaks down. This is a Kanye who we know has huge hubris. I'm Superman. Like my mental health makes you a superhero and all that, and he's crying, talking about I almost killed my daughter. Like it's crazy. Like I'm getting fake chills just saying that shit.
No
way. The way he did, he's crying, bro.
Yeah,
and
that's why I said you gotta watch it.
It's
like
different.
Yeah,
like this is a
Crazy.
different episode that
wild.
we're seeing. You know what I mean? It's a different season, different episode of Kanye, and like that shit is rough, bro. And literally right after that is when he started tweeting all this crazy shit. And that's the other thing I was gonna say. Like when it comes to like Kim, the Meek situation, like Kris Jenner just wilding out, whatever the case is, I don't doubt that one bit, because we have like everybody that goes into that fucking household. I've said this before, especially a black man, has come out different. So I highly doubt. Like he was saying, like, yo, the movie Get Out was about my life. I don't doubt that at all, because I'm sure them being like
who they are,
exactly.
The socialites, man. People following them too much. It's fucking scary,
bro. And them being up on that echelon or whatever the case is, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of wild shit that we don't know about. But also, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of wild shit we don't know about him. So I don't doubt that one bit.
I think they try to pick a lot of chess moves as a whole, that family. And that's probably why people come out different, because you're a piece of their play.
I hope Travis don't get affected.
You know
it is fucked up, but it is.
It's true.
You're a piece of their game board. So that is
now.
true. Yeah, exactly. Like that family is very business oriented always. Like amongst themselves, the real internal, they seem very family. You know what I mean? Like themselves. But when internally they seem like they love each other, you know, their family is their family, that's blood. Everybody else seems like
those ties
pieces
those
to
ties
the game.
Are scary. Blood ties.
But that's what I'm saying. There's so many different avenues that we probably don't even know about. But we're not even gonna dive into like conspiracy type, not even conspiracy,
or the Kardashians,
I mean? Like, just behind the scenes type shit, because we don't know. And I'm not trying to. That's chatty patty shit. I'm not trying to.
Exactly.
That's not our business.
But I think we touched on some great topics, especially when it comes to mental health, and we dove pretty deep into that shit.
Yes, we did.
What was your favorite part of this week?
What do you mean, the episode?
Nah, this week. Period.
Just
what happened that you loved?
Happened?
Yes, it's your favorite thing to watch.
My favorite thing to watch has been the past like 2 weeks. Just everybody basking in Pop smoke and just loving it. You know what I mean? Like Pop, he would have been a superstar.
It went over your head.
You know what I mean? Oh, what was it?
The verses.
Ah, come on, man. How was that going to be the first thing out of this whole week?
I'm just thinking, you know, like you always love the verses battles all the time.
And I love the shit that happened yesterday too. 1000%. But you know, I had to get Pop.
It was good feels. No, honestly.
That guy, man. That shit boosted him. RP Pop, man.
Smoke.
My cancer
Juice
twin
WRLD had a great week too.
Bro, I don't even want to. I don't want to talk about.
But you know, we're not gonna talk about it. I just wanted to bring it.
Yeah, that shit hits.
Give them their props while we're here, because we ain't get to talk about it since we haven't had a conversation.
Yeah, that
in
is
2
true.
weeks.
That is true.
But yeah, man. Yesterday, our two, you know what I mean, two uncles came together.
Two unks.
That shit was dope, man. It was the first time
And
I got
New
to
York
sit down.
and Cali.
Huh?
New York and Cali.
Yeah, and that was the first time I got to sit down because all of them I usually watch by myself, but I actually got to put it on the TV and Chris was watching it with me, and she was doing homework and all that, so she got to see like the two uncles battle and come together for celebration, and fucking 2 million people tuned in to see these motherfuckers get together and just wild out, get litty, and you get to see Snoop fucking Crip walk to DMX shit. You get to see DMX do ad libs to Snoop shit. Like it was so dope, dog. Like. That shit was so dope. Did y'all get to watch it?
I did. I honestly forgot how many hits DMX had. I knew Snoop was gonna come with it, but like DMX came hard too. That was a great battle, and it was good vibes. And they were both hyping each other up. Like it gave me like obviously not the same with Fab and Jada, but like that good chemistry was the same.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like real, true, honest, genuine energy, and that's what makes for the best versus battles.
Absolutely.
I agree.
There's so much shit that goes into it too because
they were rapping each other's songs and shit.
That was the dopest thing. And keep in mind, DMX has been on a roller coaster ride for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For decades.
He went through his own like mental shit.
Yeah. So it was great to see him, number one, in a great space. You could tell he was having a good time. When he was performing,
People
he was
love
out
that,
of breath.
man.
Yo, it's hot in here.
like, yo.
Take my jacket off.
He had to take like a fucking 5-minute intermission real quick because he hasn't done it in a minute. But like you could tell he was healthy. You know, and just being with Snoop. Snoop is the big homie forever, and he always brings that good spirit. Just starting the whole thing off, he had DMX started off with a pray, and you know, X killed it the way that X does. You know, just seamless. It was beautiful. And then started they battle. You already know Snoop went straight into old school bag, doggy style bag, and X. Like people counted
What's
X
my
out, bro. It
motherfucking
was
name?
crazy. Yeah, people counted X out. I'm like, you can't. I understand Snoop has an undeniable catalog of hits, but so does X. You know what I mean? People forget, in that span of time, whatever it was, like 4 or 5 years, X was knocking them shits out. Platinum
Yeah, he was on
records
for a
and-
while. We were just young. I feel like all the people who are younger are now older, so maybe you forgot who he really was, and I did too. When I was listening back, I'm like, oh my God, this is everything I grew up on.
Yeah. And also it was interesting to see from like my sphere, my New York sphere, I saw a lot of people just shitting on Snoop at first. Because even though Snoop is a big homie, beautiful music and everything, like he shat on New York back in the day. So it was like, yo, fuck
Well,
you.
he was part of the whole Tupac shit.
West versus East shit.
Yeah, that's why I said New York and Cali.
And all-
Because that was
yeah.
during their time.
Yep.
This shit wasn't easy.
And then like me thinking back too, because I'm like, yo, I've always listened to Snoop, but even back in the day, I'm like, nah, facts. It was like DMX specifically out of that whole battle, like we grew up with X. Like his I hate that shit. Like his catalog is like the soundtrack to where we were coming from. And like I showed Chris, it was crazy. I was like, yo, this is why I love music. Because when he was performing Slippin', like to this day, out of all the songs in the world, like that song in particular has helped me through so much trauma in my life. And he's performing it, and like I'm rapping the words, much as all of us were, a whole bunch of us that knows that record, and I got like goosebumps, bro. And I'm showing Chris, I'm like, yo, this is why I love
Nostalgic.
music. You know what I mean? Like this is what it's about, because it's not just about
Words.
going out here. It's not about the words. It's the feeling. It's what you were going through at the time, and X going through his own shit, and we're riding for him. Like, bro, I'm with you. We've been here since the beginning. Even Snoop, like way, way back. Even though a lot of us were a lot like younger, but when he was going through the murder case. You know what I mean? And then once he played Murder Was a Case, I feel like this is my hardest shit. It's just like, yo, this shit is hard, motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
that shit hit home.
dog, like.
That's crazy.
And it's the first time, like, Swiss was in the building, like, Swiss was there, and they were conversing.
Who was their, what's it called? Their DJ.
Yo, I'm horrible at remembering the DJs, bro.
Their
I didn't
DJ
even
was.
Horrible at it. They were, because X had his and Snoop had his, and I forgot.
Yeah, but Snoop had a big name. DJ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't
can't fucking
remember off the top of our heads, man.
Dre?
But they
Was it not?
what?
Was it not Dre?
Yeah, you would
No,
remember
no,
if
hell
it's
no,
Dre.
hell no.
He wasn't talking.
Oh.
Yeah, like they weren't talking.
Yeah, but they had great chemistry, man.
I thought it was Dre for some reason.
Nah. Yeah, damn, forget.
Yeah.
We're not gonna stay on this.
All right.
Anyway, but
Sorry,
was there a
y'all,
reason why you were
know.
bringing it up? You just thought it was Dre?
I was just saying it was dope. All those,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you
That's
know,
good.
all that
That's good.
talent in one room.
Well,
It was smooth. The picture quality was amazing.
Yeah.
The music was smooth. Wasn't no lagging. Like it was great all around in quality and performance.
the sound
yeah,
was
that's what I'm
great.
saying, yeah,
Keep in mind,
like-
remember when we first started, like motherfuckers wasn't on time. They couldn't get the
Yeah.
sound right. Because now, Jay, what they did, they partnered, Swiss and Tim partnered with Apple Music. So you can watch the whole shit straight from Apple Music, and I believe it's free. So I don't think you.
I think
need
it
to
was
have a
Timberland
membership
that I was
to watch
thinking
it.
of. Might have been with him then.
Okay.
But
Free plug.
so they partner with Apple Music, so you could watch the official shit on your phone, and then also you could watch the verses live, on the actual thing.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
I seen that.
So it's so much more professional now, and this every time, and I saw this on Twitter, and it's a fact. I feel like the last couple verses we've been watching, every time we're like, "Yo, this is the best one."
Yeah, because they're better and better each time.
It gets
That's like
better and better.
like our podcast every week.
Hello.
Some better.
And also, I think it's the chemistry, the artists that we pick. Even though people thought, like I said, I saw a lot of people on my timeline thinking this shit was going to be a landslide for Snoop. But what it became, as opposed to it being like a battle, it was a celebration of their music. And both these brothers got together and were just vibing to their old shit. You know what I mean? That's the dopest thing. And also getting like the behind the scenes, like scoop on it. Like, Get At Me Dog, the DMX shit. He was like, bro, I don't think anybody knows this, but Snoop, you the one that inspired that record. Like, I didn't know that. Nobody knew that shit. Apparently, like, they was in the club when they first met, and X linked up with Snoop for the first time, and Snoop was like, yo, get at me, dog. And literally after that, it was just stuck in DMX's head, and then he made the record. And it's like, you don't get that type of insight on any other platform.
Yeah, that's fire.
That's
like,
fire. Unless he was like on Snoop's podcast, because Snoop has a podcast. Like, I'm not sure if he keeps up with it anymore, but, other than that, like, I could see that happening. But, it was just dope to see, man. Like, they've been hitting these shits out the park. I don't know. They haven't announced any other ones yet, right?
Nah, honestly, that one came out of nowhere for me. Like, I haven't been keeping up with the versus battles because I'm always like, I always miss them. I got to catch this whole one actually on YouTube earlier today. But I had to watch it because I was seeing like everyone's reaction. I'm like, oh shit, I need to watch it. Because I'm not always like on my phone during these battles or able to watch them through. So it's good that now you can catch it on other platforms. Yeah. But I don't know what the next one is. I seen it was teased that it might be Monica and Ashanti.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yes, that would be cool if they take an R&B again. I fuck with the R&B.
Because Ashanti said she was like, y'all take on all take.
Honestly,
like,
yeah.
okay.
Ashanti has like
Ashanti's still bad too.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
We'll see.
Man, shout out to Swiss and Tim for just like nurturing that platform. And now, like I said, 2 million, impressions on all these different platforms. Like, those numbers are undeniable. Like, I kept on saying throughout that whole battle, and I've tweeted it multiple times about all these different verses. Like, yo, I love hip hop. Like, I love our culture because only we can bring everybody together like this, bring the good vibes while celebrating, our artists and our people. So, really looking forward to that next verses. Y'all already know we're gonna have the play-by-play for the next one. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, man, great talk today, y'all. Like, I love this.
It was great. Real constructive.
We're happy to be back in this shit cooking up with you.
It's always beautiful. Hey, what's going on over there? Hey, wifey's home, so we gonna holla at y'all later. Perfect timing too. Yeah, next week, man, we back at it. Y'all already know the vibes. Y'all make sure, whatever means you have to stay sane in this life. Whether you want to talk to people, whether you want to go through, your arts, write, whatever the case is, man. Make sure that you're doing that shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Make sure that mental's right.
That mental got to be strong.
That's it, man. Got to keep a positive outlook through it all, baby. Love y'all.
Love you too, brother.
We gonna holla at y'all next Wizzy word.
See ya.
Peace.